So the next step is we'll go back to our web page and see what the next thing is. Inside the body element, let's add H1 and paragraph elements. The H1 element should include the heading we wish to include. Let's use Styles Conference again. And the P element should include a simple paragraph to introduce our conference. I'm not sure if we've already talked about headings. Let me just flip back through the things we've read. So we haven't really hit headings yet in what Shay has covered. Where is it that we go over headings? We got in practice, and then we have understanding CSS, and working with selectors and class selectors and ID selectors and referencing CSS and using, and then another in practice session and summary. And let's go to the next section and see what we got. Getting to know HTML. So when we get into the next lesson, getting to know HTML, I'm going to Command F and just type in H1, and we're going to look at what headings are. And so headings allow us to identify, so we have these different headings here, H1, H2, H3, 4, 5, 6. And this is what they will look like when they're displayed on the page. However, as we will talk about when we get to headings, you don't use headings to format. H1, H2, H3, that's not for formatting. All of your formatting is done with CSS. Never do formatting, 99% of the time. Never say never, right? Never do formatting with HTML. HTML is all about content and structure, and in particular, semantics. And so we're going to learn about what semantics means. Though browsers will by default apply formatting to H1, H2, H3, we're actually going to strip that out, because the reason you want to use H1 versus H2 versus H3 is to convey semantic meaning to the users, to search engines, to screen readers, the level of the importance of the text that you are enclosing, right? And so if something's of a high importance, it would be a heading. Yes, put in an H1. When you format that, though, don't use the default formatting that automatically gets applied. You're going to format that with CSS. But to just signify, hey, this is important, right? You're going to use H1, and that's what we'll learn when we talk about semantics. And so semantics is really a big part of web programming today. If you want your web page to appear in search engines, right? If you want people to find your web pages, you need to program with semantic code, because nobody knows the secret sauce, which is the Google algorithm, right? Like how does Google determine which websites show up higher versus others? But one of the things I'm sure they look at is, what is the quality of the code? Are they using modern coding standards? Because if they're not using modern coding standards, that's a sign that this is put together by idiots or is put together in the past. And they want to offer things to people that are put together by smart people and put together recently. So having good semantics is going to signify what you're doing. And so the next step is to add in that H1. I got a little ahead of myself there with the in practice, but I wanted to explain what H1 was. So we're going to add in this code in between our bodies. So I'm just going to highlight all that code again, Command C, and then go back over to WebStorm. And since I highlighted the body tags, I'll get rid of those body tags and Command V and paste that back in. And I'm going to go Command Option L. 1 second, Adrian. And Command Option L will allow me to reformat my code. And that didn't really turn out the way I was hoping. Command Option L, reformat. So there's ways we could adjust that, how it reformats if we'd like.